Thanks for staying with us. So today we'll be looking at the issue of gender parity. And the reason why it's important is because of two main reasons. First of all, International Women's Month is coming up very soon in a couple of days, and there'll be a lot of focus on issues concerning women. And secondly, interestingly, yesterday I was at the United Nations event where United Nations Women's event where this issue came up again. And one of the honorable members of the National Assembly was there, Honorable Bayo. He was telling us that that they've approved, and very soon it's been announced that he said that they are going to be creating an extra seat across all the House of Assemblies exclusively for women. And that's a good thing, because I know that we're trying to see how we can get more women involved in politics. But he was saying that we have agreed to give them one extra seat. And of course, when you use the word give them, like, sorry, why are you making it as if you're doing us a favor? Because the truth is that it's our right as Nigerians. We are also citizens of this country, and we deserve equal rights just as every other person. And what gender parity is really saying is equal contribution of men and women to every dimension of life. That we're saying that we expect equity. So if a woman is earning 50,000 naira for a job, a man should be earning the same thing. If a man is giving 100,000 naira, his female counterpart should be earning the same thing. So we want that equality, and that goes to a lot of conversation that was had yesterday. And I was bringing that. I was going to connect that to a few things that happened recently with the Honorable Senator Natasha within the House. People criticizing senators concerning her work, concerning her outbursts and her behavior. There was a recent video by Cosmos Maduka, the CEO of Quescharis, and where he was saying that a man should have two to three bedroom house before getting married. And people are thinking, okay, in this time and age, a woman who has a three bedroom house, that I don't need his 2-bedroom house. I can actually, why can't he move into my own house? If I'm the one that have a house, can't he? Why are we still having that in balance, that he has to be the one to have the house? What of me as a woman? If I'm more successful than him, if I have an apartment, why can't he move into my house? And then we link that to the man who was actually advising a couple in the wedding, saying that it's not a woman's role really to cook. There's nowhere in the books that said that a woman must cook. Anybody that wants to eat should cook. So these are issues concerning gender parity. That how do we have that equality? Or should there be equality at all? Where do we draw the line? Or should we blur it as if it's being blurred? Because, I mean, that's really the conversation. Who would like to go first?
You have touched on many issues, and I think that every single one of them deserves airtime. Like, we need to discuss it. The real thing for me is let's normalize these conversations, because there is the culture we currently have is not a culture of gender parity. It's a culture of these are the men. It's a world for men. It's a world that respects men. It's a world that honors men. And it's a world where men can say anything and get away with it. And you are not expected to even question what is going on. So yesterday we had a conversation very similar based off Senator Natasha's lawsuit against the Senate president. And while I read the comments on YouTube, what's her name? Ramatu was saying that she didn't need to take it to court, that court is too much. I was like, okay, how should we resolve it? People were supporting her on YouTube that, yes, why would a woman take a man to court? Like, how did it become a woman taking a man to court when the situation is regarding defamation? You work for a woman, for positions that come up, women have to work twice as hard to prove that they are meant to be worthy, there and worthy of that position. So we see Natasha being judged, Senator Natasha being judged by the fact that she wears makeup and that the fact that she dresses in an appealing way. And so you are talking to someone who is you're having a conversation, and the conversation is saying, because you wear makeup, someone that is your equal. So for me, this is a conversation worth having, and it permeates many areas of our world where conversations are not had on competence, but it's hard on sexism. So you're not analyzing this person based on competence. Even giving one seat in the assembly or in every state assembly is not enough, because at the end of the day, you're saying, I will give this to you, so we will take everything else. But in the population, we are almost 50-50. So they allow every woman who aspires to do politics to be able to do what she wants to do. If she aspires to run for presidency, if she aspires to run a company, she should be allowed to. And those who have taken advantage of the power of equity can testify. One of the key company conglomerates we have in Nigeria is owned by Tony Elumelu. And if you check Tony Elumelu's board, if you check his CEOs, he has a lot of women, and they are working and giving him results. So there's obviously opportunity in equity. It is not to come against men and make men feel like you are not enough. You are enough as a man. We're asking men to say women also are enough.
You see, the danger of building this unequal mindset over the years is also to make evil or demonize a woman who has ambitions. And women were the forerunners of it. So an ambitious woman is seen to be disrupting a home system. So who go take care of your pikin? Who go carry them? You know, some people are lucky they have family members. If you check within the family, it is the women in the family who will be saying, our children cannot turn out well. She know the day house, you know. So if we take that to the larger society in politics, where we see men talk down at women and women agree. So you will see this Natasha's issue when it happened. Women were in support of the Senate president, as opposed to how, you know, she was taking it or how she's been treated. If you take it out, you will see other women say, she should tone down small. She should maybe bring down small. So this unequalness that we're discussing, we're dealing with in society, some of us, it is an ideology we believe in our mentality somehow, that, you know, such women should not be in society. Why your dream is too big? You leave this thing for men. That's why the men are dealing with you. You self, you know,
your own too much.
Your own too much. It comes out. And then we then see the abuses that come from men who take it to the extreme, who says to their wives, get up. If you say, I'm having cramps, now you first are you the first to see period? Do you know how many children my mother had? Get up and go and cook for me. Men who fail to understand, who call it a duty that a woman must die giving. Some women can't even carry through a pregnancy. It is a life for a life if they try to have kids. And you will see people tell them it is a worthy cause. The man will come to hospital and he will sign to save the baby and let the wife go. And you know, we are now wondering, this is a larger problem ingrained in most of us, our thinking, our mentality, and our subconscious. And the sad part is that a lot of women see nothing wrong with it. When you start the conversation, you're a feminist. I am not a feminist. But I believe that, you know, women should have certain rights and equality.
But I think you probably say you're not a feminist because of how it's been defined. But I think we are all feminists in different ways.
Morayo, because of the demonization of that term, I will not associate with it. But I come from a religion that I understood it growing up, that I needed to have an identity, that ensured that I have a name, that ensured that I am entitled to so many things growing up, that I am not to be treated, that I can inherit, that, you know, a lot of things that I thought was normal in my culture was abnormal in my faith. And I'm finding out that, so women have said, they have, you know, you can actually be ambitious. And, you know, funnily, I don't know, I won't mention this location. I was at a place, I was giving a sermon on gender equality on women recently. And all the things we have heard, that it was Adam and Eve, that it was Eve that gave Adam apple, all those things they start with to demonize women. Somebody of knowledge sat beside me and he used that thing to prove that women are stubborn, they're not submissive, and they're asking for equal rights. As in, it was as if the ground should open and I should enter.
You know, we can use the scripture to back up anything
I'm telling you, he was bringing scripture. And so I was saying, that, is there a knowledgeable person in-house? Or else I have to do this myself. Fortunately, another sheikh, a man, now brought out all the verses and sunnahs of the prophet, and the whole hall just went, whoo. But you know, if we had ended that conversation on the first person, nobody would know that there are those things he is saying. So we
need to give him more airtime.
Because the Quran doesn't even believe Eve was the one who gave Adam apple. It was the devil. That's the way the Quran is. But we read it because we schooled him both, and we've always said it. And he quoted it, and he was saying that was the Quran, and he was seated at a public event. So a lot of things happen that, you know, only knowledge can set right. Women should be allowed. What Islam says is that a woman is not your cook. A woman is your support. If she chose to add cooking to it, just as if she chose to add her money to running your home, or if she choose, so that for her is not like an extra, something that you're using to express love, not something that is a duty. But we have come, they will say duty. Oh yeah, have you finished They bring my food, yes, Lord and Master. That's
okay. So,
know?
I mean, this, as I said, as the talker rightly said, this
mentality.
issue of gender parity is quite broad.
It's broad.
It's broad in different levels because it's not just about what happens in the home, but what happens in politics, in the corporate world. I mean, was the figures I was hearing yesterday. I mean, we all know these things, but sometimes when the data is thrown at you,
It will shock you.
you cringe because I mean, out of 360 members of the House of Representatives in Nigeria, only 17 are women. Out of 109 senators, we have just 3. So the point is that and here our government had promised that they would support us with the affirmative action, and yet we are yet to see that in play out, even in his appointments. So there are so many levels of this, and it's important that as we're talking about it, we're also remembering that it's important for women to be given some kind of a leverage. And I'll tell you about them going to short, but when I come back, we continue this. I know Waike has not spoken yet. When we come back, we'll take Waike's comments. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.